Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the LoFi podcast. We're gonna I want to leave that in.
You leave it.
Yeah, I will leave it. We're gonna take a look at the second half of Love, Death, and Robots today. Caleb knows.
I do.
Does Heidi know?
I know.
Does Rick know?
I know.
We all know.
Something.
They know.
I know. I didn't introduce myself last time. I'm Frank. I know.
I introduced you.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, you did. You did. I was confused. Anyway.
That's right. We're introducing each other.
Yeah. We're gonna do the second half of Love, Death, and Robots. If you haven't seen it, just be warned. We're gonna definitely do just upfront spoilers.
Mega spoilers.
Upfront, mega spoilers. Go watch it if you have it. It's pretty good. Or we'll tell you at the end if it's pretty good or not. Anyway.
We'll tell you.
We will tell you.
What to
We're
stay,
your
stay
source
tuned.
for information.
Stay tuned
That's right.
to find out.
Latest and greatest, baby.
Latest.
We're going to kick it off with episode 10 called Shapeshifters, in which literal dogs of war are helping the military. It's these werewolves, right?
Werewolves.
Yeah.
I think werewolves are dogs, though.
But they kept calling them, well, no.
I mean, that's a
That's
figure
like
of
saying,
speech
that's like
anyway.
saying a wolf is a dog, right? Isn't a dog a wolf?
Derogatory
No.
term.
Yeah, you're right. It's more derogatory than anything.
Yeah.
I don't think wolves are actually dogs, though.
Yeah, I
Right.
agree with that.
Right.
I would
Otherwise,
agree
they'd
with
be
that.
called the same thing.
They're different.
If there's anything I agree with, it would be that.
Yeah.
True.
The other thing I thought was weird was like the wolf dog people. They're just like barefoot the whole time or
Right.
whatever, right? I was like, why not just take them off when you're gonna turn or something?
Gives you tactical advantage.
Well,
They
also,
probably
if you
don't
think
feel
of
it.
tactical boots, like there's like a bunch of string.
Mhm.
So either they rip a boot every time, or they're like they try to like take their shoe off.
Really quickly, as they're turning. Yeah,
Yeah.
Frank. I don't know, Frank.
I
It's not
just
practical,
hate,
dude.
they're, okay, look.
Barefoot.
If you have
Barefoot.
human
Yeah.
feet, you're stepping on rocks and dirt and shit all day. Like,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
there's
like
But who's to say their feet are not calloused?
What if
Yeah.
it's an
And
identifier?
strong.
Like you
Yeah.
shall
Who's
not
Who's to
walk.
say they don't have
that's
little
in
girl
their-
feet like you?
that's the thing, right? Were they?
In their
Calloused?
human form, they're still super strong.
Yeah.
The guy was
Yeah.
lifting a
True.
bunch of
Yeah.
stuff, so
True.
I
Okay.
don't think it bothered me that
All right.
much.
Yeah.
All right.
They probably prefer it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
probably
prefer
right.
it sometimes.
Same here.
Yeah.
I'm
Not,
barefoot
not
all the time.
outside though. Fuck that shit.
I hate being barefoot outside.
I know, right?
Okay with it.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the story being, this guy has a friend who gets killed by werewolves in a
well-
different camp.
Yeah, I would
Right.
start it off with
How would you start it off, Caleb?
werewolves
Uh-huh.
are in the military.
Yeah.
They just want to be in the. I figure they just want to be in the military to be in the military.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Other soldiers don't like them
Mm-hmm.
because they're werewolves, which I'm like, I wouldn't want to get on their bad side because
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
werewolves.
Because they're fucking
Yeah.
werewolves.
So
I agree.
uh,
They're like talking shit, and
Yeah, like
it's
are they
like
below humans in this species tier?
I
Like
mean, that's what they're treating him like.
They
That's
are
basically
treating
like
them
human.
like-
That's what humans
in
do,
the
right?
military, maybe because
Yeah.
we only got the view of the military.
That's
yeah,
true.
I think it might be just in the
You
military.
think they're genetically modified humans that are only capable of fighting in the military? Like they're bred for military?
Or do you think they volunteered, right? Because you think he said.
Oh.
I think they volunteered.
So
yeah.
it's a world in which werewolves
Werewolves are-
live with people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like outed, I guess.
Okay.
And I think this one was the first one that, like, to me was very like, unlike most of the others, which were either kind of hinging on like cyberpunk or science fiction, at least to some degree. This one had none of that. Right, had no robots that I could
it had
think
death.
of. Did have death
Mm-hmm.
It
And
had-
Wang.
and
love.
the only love
And love.
I could think of
Brotherly.
was brotherly love. Yeah, was the love for his
So if you want to take
Friend.
that statement back,
Well,
Yeah.
his
for his
I
friend
mean-
who died.
they'd be like what, like pack mates, right?
Yeah,
It'd be
Yeah.
like
they ran in a pack.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So he goes to get revenge on the guy who killed his friend.
Friend.
Who's this
Yes.
older white wolf. So that was kind of cool.
yeah.
Who unfairly had another werewolf friend come help him out.
Young wolf,
A young wolf, one
Yeah.
might say.
which I thought was a cool battle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna
Battles?
say was
Yeah,
the
werewolf fight was
the
fucking
werewolf
awesome.
fight was fucking crazy.
It was
Yeah.
cool.
I thought it looked cool. I mean, I know we talked about photorealism CG right in the last
Yeah.
episode, but I think this one was kind of there with that stuff
It
where
looked
like
gnarly.
yeah, it looked fucking crazy.
All their
man.
bites.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Even the last one, the way he like just puts that other werewolf's mouth in his mouth to
yeah,
like
dude.
fucking
Dude.
kill
Yeah,
him.
So
fucking
good.
bites
That was
down.
cool, man. That was cool.
Awesome.
That's how you shut him up.
Yeah, dude. I was
Fangs,
like,
like, piercing the
Jesus.
Put his
Balls.
mouth in your mouth.
Yeah, just fucking. that was awesome and
That was
satisfying.
amazing, yeah.
I thought that was cool. Overall, though, I think even though leaves room for more. I mean, I still like enjoyed the story or whatever. It was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good overall.
And then he deserted. He like ran away, right?
Yeah, he was like, I'm out. Fuck you all.
Fuck you
I'm not
all.
your dog anymore. Whatever.
Sick.
Takes off.
Because they didn't even care, which I thought was like, why?
Yeah, right?
They're
Like,
Right?
it's
Yeah,
illegal.
they don't give
Even
a shit
after
why you
all
helping.
of that,
Yeah, like,
assholes, dude.
I did like their like the kind of vision. It showed like how like for a second a little bit they showed how he saw things in the dark. You
Yeah.
know, but then it cuts to like a guy in a flashlight having to
You
know.
can tell who's human and who's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. So I thought that was cool. You can see like their fucking wolf vision. How like even though it's dark, they can still see like everything. I thought that was a nice touch or whatever. We're moving on to episode 11 called "Helping Hand." This is the one. This was the hardest for me to watch, man. It takes place in space.
Oh.
And it's that girl putting on the flight suit. She's going outside
this one was
the
cool.
space station to repair something, right?
Yeah, she goes outside.
And some random debris bumps her off.
like a little bolt.
Yeah, some kind of, but it was huge though. It was like big.
No.
I think
It
it's
was like a small nail.
Oh,
dude.
small.
But
Yeah.
because it's in space.
Exactly.
Oh,
it went by super quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
for her suit.
I thought it was a little bit bigger, but yeah, you're probably right then. Hits her, fucks up her oxygen tank. She kind of spirals out. Has no way to get back to the fucking space station that she was trying to fix.
Because there's no
She's
atmosphere.
hardcore, dude. I
You
love
know,
it.
It's cold.
I mean, I think problem one was I've seen like some space movies. They always show them like always clamping onto something, you know.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
I feel like that sucks. That
Yeah.
she didn't think of it or they didn't have anything like that. I mean, I don't know. But
Right.
either way, she's fucked. She's in space and
By herself.
Oxygen running low.
oxygen running low. She had like 15 minutes, and they're telling her they'll be there in like a couple hours or something.
An hour.
Yeah, like an hour or something like
Yeah.
that. And she's like, I only have like 15 minutes, man. I was
Yeah.
like, shit. Like, what is she gonna do?
Yeah, that one
And
got
what
I'll
you.
tell
does-
you.
and
I'll
what
tell
does
you what
she
she
do?
does, bro. She fucking hacks her arm off.
Well, wait. She takes off her sleeve
Well, yeah.
and like has to deal with like space, whatever,
Freezing
mutilating,
her
freezing, and
fucking
killing
arm.
her arm dead
Yeah.
essentially, which I thought was fucking
Man.
crazy, dude.
It didn't like immediately snap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know
don't
the
tell me,
skin
man.
was still
Like,
like
bulging,
rubber.
That was fucked, dude. This was
Yeah.
incredibly hard to watch. It's just her having
That's
to
good.
with like knee against it and trying to pull off her dead arm. That was
Damn, but you know
that
what it
was
means?
crazy,
She
man.
loves herself. That's the love in this episode. She wanted to live. That bitch was like, I'm breathing again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I don't like this one as much as the others. I think because it has the least stakes. Yeah, she herself is about to die, but I feel like all the other episodes was like higher stakes or those more
Like
involved. I guess.
catastrophic.
or
World
if
ending
it's
or
like
something.
Yeah.
like it's more of a personal connection to what's about to happen.
Like 3 robots.
Yeah, no. Besides those type of episodes,
I'm just
but like
fucking
yeah,
with
that's
you.
why I was just like, oh, okay. That's why I was like, whatever about this episode.
Dude, I don't know. It was pretty.
But you could argue like the simplicity of like death in space. Like no one would know you're just floating. Like the death isn't even like a gruesome one, but it is because you're in a void.
Yeah.
So it while it would seem like less is at stake, that could just be like a mood and setting.
Yeah.
I think,
No,
You
and
could
I
argue
think
that.
seeing it firsthand from her perspective, I mean, makes it that much more higher because I feel like that if it was you in that situation, you'd be like, shit, what would I
Yeah.
do? Or like, it's very personal for if you, the viewer, like, oh fuck, like if that was me, if that was happening to me,
Mm-hmm.
like how would I fix that or whatever? And I just feel like if you get into the point where you have to lop off a fucking limb to survive and shit, that shit's fucking gruesome and well, at least
hardcore.
for me personally, I think it's a little more high stakes than.
And that's part of the job because she's like, no, I'm fine. Even when they were like, we can still send someone out to patch you, she's like, nah, I took care of it.
Yeah.
Like she patched herself because she's medically trained to.
Yeah.
Like she's prepared for these situations.
I think I just had more of a problem with the order of the episode. Like, I think if it was more in the beginning, I think I would have been more cool.
Order's
with it.
important.
But
I think,
since it
for
was
sure.
like later, and I'd seen all these like really
all these other ones or whatever.
great stories and this great whatever.
I get you.
This one was just like, oh, this happens. Like, okay.
But I think when she flung her dead arm, right, to like try to reach and gravitate
Momentum.
herself, and then fucking misses, I'm like, dude,
yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Your other arm now? Like how? Right? And how did she do it? I forgot. The
It
last
was the sleeve at first,
Yeah, it was
and
the
then
sleeve.
it was her
Ah,
physical
there you go.
arm the
That's what it was.
second
Sorry.
time. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just thought like, Jesus, dude, like that. I was hard to watch, but also that was crazy.
Yeah.
I still would have called for help. I was like, send someone, I'm fucking armless over here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
for real.
Yeah.
Some snacks.
Some scenarios.
Bring some snacks. We're moving on to episode 12 called Fish Night. This is a story about, I guess, the father and
Fish
son
night.
kind of traveling salesman
Yeah.
sort of duo or whatever. They get stuck in the middle of,
I want to say Arizona.
right?
It was like a dry land canyon.
Yeah, dry canyons and stuff like that, kind of setting to it. I wasn't crazy about the animation to this one at first because it reminded me very much of like 13 back in like PS2 days or whatever.
Okay. The cell shaded.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like the Telltale games or whatever. The like
Telltale games? Yeah. That's
Walking
kind of
Dead.
that is
I
exactly
liked
what that
it,
reminded me of
though.
or whatever.
That felt familiar to me, so
Yeah.
I liked it.
But I mean, I came around to it once like nighttime comes, right, and they talk about the ghosts of things still being around, and then you see all these fucking fish, and which I thought was kind of cool because I mean, in that same like the idea that what formed the canyons in the first place was that water used to be there and shit or whatever.
That
Yeah.
at one point
Right.
everything used to be underwater.
Yeah. So I thought it was cool that like all these fish and stuff are coming out or whatever.
really glowy, really pretty.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool. I was like, dude, I want that for like a wallpaper or
Yeah.
something. Like,
Yeah.
I want that to be moving all the time. And so the son then gets super excited about.
Was he the son?
I think he was just like
I think
Was he a son?
an
Wasn't he just
employee.
like a partner?
It doesn't really say. I don't remember.
Yeah, I
You can
remember
kind of
I think
them-
he
assume
was.
one.
saying father and son. I think it was more they're just traveling salesmen and they're just
I gotta go back to it, but I could
He's
have.
probably like an intern. at a
Unless
dying
like the
company.
dad said
I-
called him son, but like not as in son, but like
Oh.
listen here,
I think
son.
that would
Yeah.
have
maybe
Maybe.
that's
had
where I
more
got that
emotion if that was his kid.
from. Well, there's got to be
Yeah.
love in it, right? So I don't know.
You
Oh,
think maybe his
true.
kid
Well, it has
would
death.
listen to him too? It
But
does
no
have death,
robots. But no robots.
but it's
No
got death. It's got just one of those in there.
Yeah,
right?
just
You
one.
just need one.
Well,
Oh, it just has to have one.
the only disconnect for me with the episode was the younger kid or whatever jumping off a rock to then become part of them somehow.
I think he turns into the glowy color, and
Yeah.
that's when he fully transitions, right?
Yeah.
Into this phantasmal state.
Yeah.
Because he's the same color as the old man, and then the glowing fish are everywhere. But once he jumps off the cliff, then he turns like orange, or like he starts glowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
And so that's the idea suspension that he is now part of this.
So you think it was like the veil was thin around that time, and then he could maybe bridge that gap?
No, I think
into
the audience, the viewer, just has to like suspend their belief and
Okay.
believe that
that could happen.
could happen, or that
Okay.
it did happen,
Mhm.
and then a ghost shark comes.
Ghost Shark comes, eats the fucking kid.
Yeah, and
And that's kind of like the end of the episode, right? I think.
right.
Yeah,
I
I didn't
forget
like-
how it ends.
Yeah, I didn't like the episode because I was like, okay, that's it. But I was like, well, is there like a deeper meaning that I'm not understanding? Like flying too close to the sun type thing, like maybe.
that could pretty.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the message, so I was like,
It was like
I
a
think
graveyard
visually
episode.
it was
visually
nice.
was cool.
Yeah, it
but
was good visual
I didn't
for
get
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Story could have used or had some kind
I
of
mean, I
better
think
arc at
that's
least.
kind of where
A
the story
dying
is, right? It's just-
industry, the graveyard of the fish.
Hmm.
Like it had to do with death, I'm sure,
Yeah.
or something. We'll love Death and Robots. It had to do with that.
All right. So episode 12, titled "Lucky 13."
That was my favorite. One of my favorites. I
That was
loved it.
totally. I liked this one a lot. Another. I think out of all the CG ones, this one was kind of my favorite. I think because I love the way the almost the Starcraft, the Space Marine like look. Like I don't know why. I mean, I just enjoy that stuff or whatever. And in this case, having this fucking ship like piloting a bunch of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Essentially, so the story is about this new rookie pilot who's taken over this new ship, which was supposed to be unlucky. It had come back already from 2 missions with the entire crew's dead or whatever. Which, when they were saying that in the beginning, I was like, but doesn't that mean it's lucky, though? Because the ship made it, but I guess
The
the
ship
guys
made
didn't.
it back alone.
The guys didn't
Yeah.
or whatever.
That's unlucky to me, dude.
Yeah.
Nah. I don't want to get in that shit.
Though. And so the story goes on to tell, like, at least from the pilot's perspective, of like going on these missions and trying to stay alive and essentially even coming back unscathed on a lot of these missions or whatever. So much to the point where she even got like a tattoo of them of the ship or whatever. She's like, dude, Lucky 13, man, saved
It's a real
saved my
bond,
life.
her and that ship.
Dude, for real. I was like, man, Lucky 13, fucking pulling through and everything. It was great, dude. And then toward the end of the episode, whatever. The ship does get hit. It gets hit by a rocket after it had already taken off, goes down. You know, they have to evacuate.
Shut up.
The pilot stays. The pilot stays to, you know, machine gun everyone around them to give the guys enough time to get out. And as much as she didn't want to, man, because she loved that ship, she had to put it on a fucking detonator for it to rig it to blow. Self-destruct. You know, runs off by herself, like just with a pistol in hand, getting chased or whatever. And when the timer goes for it to blow up, it didn't, right? And she looks up and she's like, she doesn't want to go. You know, like she like refused
she doesn't want
to
to go, or do you think waiting for more of them to swarm?
I think
that's why
that's what
she was waiting. She knew when to blow up because she loved her. The ship had feelings. It was sentient.
Or was it faulty?
Shut up.
That's the only other thing. I was like, maybe it was just faulty and it blew up.
Fuck you, dude. That ship knew.
Don't take this from her.
Don't know.
I think even the fact that like midway they offered her like, hey, you're gonna stay with this bucket of bolts, or you want this, you know, this new ship. She's like, nah, this was treating me right.
But she got one.
She had to, and when it totally blew up,
but she got one.
Honor.
She had to.
That's all I said. She got one.
Anyway, I think this is definitely one of my favorites, though. It was really,
she
really
loved
good.
the ship, and the ship loved her. That was the love.
And the death
was the ship.
That's what I'm saying.
It was
also the robot part of it, or whatever.
Caleb, best step.
You haven't said much about this one, Caleb. What do you think, man?
No, I agree, and taking it all in.
Right, cool.
I was gonna say that if you didn't say it, like, was she waiting? Did she not want to die, or was she waiting for them to all come? To blow them all up.
I thought it was cool. Like during that, I guess one of those last runs or whatever, they were out of bullets, and the only way they could kill that other ship was by flying upside down over it and shooting flares into the fucking cockpit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was the first mission. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking cool.
Super cool.
He's like, dude, you're out of bullets. What are you gonna do now? You shoot flares in their fucking cockpit. That was awesome.
It's fucking cool.
But overall, man, good fucking story.
Good one.
I liked it, man. It was awesome. And then definitely one of my favorites. Episode 13, titled Zima Blue.
Oh, yeah.
Zima Blue was fucking cool, man.
I liked Zima Blue.
I really enjoyed this one. Even though, like, I wasn't crazy about the art style at first.
Right.
Because very that Art Deco kind of very squared look to it or whatever.
I
But
thought of Carmen Sandiego for some reason. Because I think there's a new show, and it looks kind of like that.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
We're going to have to save that for our Carmen Sandiego LoFi review.
So the story starts off with this very eccentric painter, right? Who
Zemo.
Was his no? Was his
Zima
name?
Blue. His name was Zima.
Yeah,
His name was Zima?
Yeah.
Like the drink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he, quickly went from like portraits to wanting to draw like murals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to go bigger, right? And his art style then became.
He drew planets.
Yeah, I mean he do like it went crazy, right? Like you think like, oh, how much bigger could he go other than murals and then just these huge standing fucking portraits of galaxies.
It started off as galaxies,
right?
And
Yeah.
then a blue.
And then blue.
Well, yeah. Then it started with the galaxies having that blue tile in the middle of them.
Yeah.
And that's what people were fixated on, was that a bunch of these galaxies and stuff were having these blue tiles kind of get more prominent and more bigger, and to the point where he unveiled one where it was just an entire fucking Zima blue painting or whatever. And then kicked it up a notch from there, right? Like they started painting fucking asteroids blue and stuff like that.
Planets,
Yeah, like it was just and people looking at him like
crazy.
Right.
Like how much bigger can he go? What can he do? Right, the whole blue behind the what was it, like the moon or something like that? Also at one point.
It was just like a big square covering the whole planet.
I thought it was cool. I was like, dude, like where's this leading to, right? And then we get to, because we've been hearing this perspective the entire time from the reporter, I guess, or the journalist, right, who's gonna cover this stuff and do the interview or whatever. She, meets up with him finally, And you see him, and I mean, I always thought like it looked cool because he had like that fucking red cape or whatever. He's almost like this dark, like superhero, just brooding or whatever. And then you see he looks kind of like robotic or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he reveals to her that I mean, he did travel to get this modified, skin on him or whatever. They called it like pressurized polymer or something like that. But whatever, he was able to now go into space, right? And that's why he's doing all this stuff or whatever. And then kind of the episode then preps for like the end of it, which is everyone's gathering around this pool, right? Because
it's his final.
It's going to be his final showpiece or whatever. I mean, he reveals to her that he actually started off as a pool cleaning fucking robot, right? I guess technically his mother, the inventor, I guess.
I thought he was just a pool robot.
Yeah, he was a pool robot.
Well, but she created a pool robot, wasn't it?
A scientist made a modification so that he could use his best cleaning style.
Yeah.
And then that grew into just a consciousness. He's able to make his own decisions.
Yeah, like she gave him a brain to
and
clean
he
however he
himself.
wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was passed on after she passed away. They added to him, right? And then just over time, he became
more modified.
More modified, super sentient, obviously, to the point where now he's there performing art and shit like that.
And the color of his pool tile is Zima.
And as he's doing his last showpiece, he's in the fucking pool, just deactivating his body in pieces. Everyone's fucking like, oh my god! And he's breaking apart. And my favorite scene, man, it's just like the little fucking pool robot coming out of his fucking body, man. Yeah, little pool Roomba. Back to cleaning the Zima blue tiles on the fucking pool.
Back to basics.
I think that was
full circle.
Well fucking done, man. I liked everything about that fucking episode.
Yeah, I think that when she was giving the history of him, I think eventually that was false. Like, that's what everyone thinks. That's how he was built. Like, he went to these planet and modified himself and blah, blah, blah. But I think he was saying that he was modified over time. That's why the way he is.
Okay.
Not that he went to go get himself modified. I don't know. Could be wrong.
You don't think that he, like, after was being passed around, getting modified, I think...
He does become an artist.
Yeah.
But the way he gets his robotic body, the reporter was saying how he did that to himself because he wanted to experience different types of environments. But that's not true. He was modified through the passing because his true origin was a pool cleaner. No one knew that. That was like his big secret.
Because she was like, no, you're a human, not a robot.
Right.
Yeah.
So people were telling stories of this great artist. Gotcha. He did make great art, but his origin was misleading.
Okay. And I liked... the message of like he was searching for meaning of the galaxy, and he was like, well, it's just your surrounding is your meaning, or like whatever's in front of you is your purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
Instead of like this grand like.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe he just wanted to get back to basics. He's like, my purpose. Yeah, like I prefer just cleaning fucking pool tiles and stuff. Just simple.
Instead of thinking about or overthinking.
Yeah.
It's just keep it simple.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yes, 1,000%. Oh, I know.
Yeah, for sure.
Kill myself.
Good one. Good episode. Moving on to episode 14, The Blind Spot. This is the one where it's like a post-apocalyptic team of robots who try to do a heist, essentially, or they go on this high-speed chase to hijack this this like armored vehicle, essentially, full of like
a chip,
security guards. Yeah, they're there specifically for a microchip or whatever. And yeah, I mean that's basically it. The story's it's a heist, right? There's 3 or 4 kind of characters, right? We got the rookie, right? The unruly
leader,
right? The leader, the girl.
There's a girl.
And then like the unruly robot, the Mohawk one or whatever.
Yeah.
So kind of these very dynamic kind of characteristics. You're used to seeing in like normal teams or whatever. What I did not expect was that majority of them were gonna be fucking like, just killed and shit. I thought like okay maybe one or whatever, but they fucking practically all of them dying for this mission. To like make it happen and stuff. So this big ass security robot, comes to life, blocks everyone, is almost gonna kill the fucking rookie, when one of them, the last one that was basically fighting for his fucking life, uses the oil spilling from his robotic head after it had been removed to light a fire and blow up the core, right, to stop that fucking security robot or whatever.
They all died.
Yeah, they all fucking died.
Except like that one, right?
Except the rookie.
Right.
And the Oracle robot.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one who was still alive. The Oracle robot, the one that was like driving them, right? Or
well, no, I think he was just like letting them
providing
go.
intel and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he gets the fucking ship, and then you find out that they actually didn't die, or like their personalities were backed up by a computer or whatever.
Because they're robotic, so they discovered conscious software saving. I don't know.
Right, the cloud.
Yeah,
they were saved. Their personalities are
they're
saved to the cloud.
New body.
So I thought. I
doesn't
kind of didn't like that because most of these episodes, like, death has been a very prominent thing.
Yeah.
And then this is one where they were kind of like cheating death a little bit in a way.
I kind of felt that after the first one died, and they didn't really react to it too much. Kind of gave that
He was
away.
like, that was my friend.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I thought at that point, I'm like, okay, they'll probably just pick up his parts and put them back
because
together.
he's a robot. Yeah,
right?
they really emphasize that.
Yeah.
Or easier, just upload them to a new one.
Yeah, true. So that one was all right.
That one, yeah. I mean, I wasn't too crazy about it for
Wasn't
sure.
a favorite. Or
The
anything.
art style was okay. But yeah, I felt a little bit cheated when they were like, "Oh no, we're all still here and alive, dummy," whatever.
Yeah.
And I was
Big
like,
dummy.
"You big dummy."
Fool.
Like,
You
I'm
goof.
the dummy, man. I'm the dummy. So yeah, blind spot was all right.
All right.
Yeah.
It was pretty graphic though. When they were like shooting the soldiers and they're like they're exploding
That was kind
their
of cool.
heads.
Yeah.
Or we were even when they took off that one guy's head, like the way he was fucking like squeezing it
Yeah.
off and shit. Like that was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Sorry.
I love
Yeah, that's
gore.
right.
At this point.
Yeah.
Or even like
Episode 15, The Ice Age,
Topher Grace.
in which
Oh, I
Topher
like
Grace
this
makes a
one.
return to TV
Yeah.
with
My favorite.
Robin. What was her name?
I don't know her
Ramona
name.
Flowers.
Robin Thicke.
Ramona.
With Ramona Flowers.
Oh man, I know her name.
It's a new couple, or not new couple, but it's a couple moving into a new apartment, and they open their old refrigerator or freezer in this case to discover that they have an entire civilization living in there, and kind of proceed to like whatever stuff's happening. They're opening and closing, and they're watching that time passes by very quickly in there, right? I mean, they could be gone for 10 minutes, and all of a sudden it went from early medieval times to like the industrial age and stuff like that.
So following like a human timeline.
Human timeline
of history.
Yeah, it's like
So
the
they're
humans.
not another species. It's following the Renaissance.
Yeah.
And
Would this be considered a genre?
What
Time?
This type of movie?
I mean, what other movie like would it be like though?
Well, I mean, you had the Simpsons episode with the Treehouse of Horror that did it. You had the Twilight Zone that did it. You had that movie with Jack Black where he was huge and they were all tiny.
I didn't see that movie.
Futurama does an episode where
Futurama
Bender's
does an
in
episode.
space and he has like a speck on his back and it turns into like a civilization.
Yeah.
He's like
Oh my
he's
God.
like their god or whatever.
Yeah.
South Park. Oh, with the sea monkeys.
South Park did the episode Sea Monkeys.
What do we call that? if it was a
Civilization.
genre?
Tiny civilization.
Tiny civilization
Rick and Morty.
genre. Rick
His
and Morty
battery.
did
His
it.
car battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men in Black
Men in Black did it.
in the locker with the watches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiny civilization.
Tiny civilization.
Genre.
I like the
That's
idea
what
of
this
tiny
episode was,
civilization
yeah.
genre.
I like the tiny civilization.
Yeah.
genre.
So do I. So
and
that's
the way
what
it
this
ended,
episode, I
it
guess,
kind of
would
makes
be,
you
right?
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way it ends up finishing, right, is
Mm-hmm.
they advance so much into technology and whatever, they I guess all like jump in this fucking portal. Or
It's
what do you
like
think that
energy.
was?
Like
Yeah.
you can only do so much with your resources. So they just turn into infinite energy.
Yeah.
They like wave throughout the room.
Einstein's theory, right?
Yeah. Because it's true. I almost wanted to connect it back to Zima Blue. How he's like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, he's become aware. What do you think of? There's infinite knowledge in the universe. But you know, he goes back to his simple form.
Yeah.
And with this freezer civilization, you know, they're advancing, they're growing, and then they, you know, towers and electricity, and they become, you know, part of their own environment, and then it goes right back to the beginning of civilization with like the woolly mammoths and the ice age and stuff.
Yeah.
So like it
Dinosaurs and
repeats itself because there's only so much that can happen after everything's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Big Bang Theory,
Right.
essentially, but like
It would just
gravity
start
on
over.
super
So I
small
really
scale.
like that.
Infinitely.
But like not like the show.
No.
Right?
Blobble.
No, not like the show, Caleb.
It almost kind of answers like what's gonna happen to us.
Yeah.
Like we'll just start over.
We'll just
'cause-
start all over. We'll end ourselves or we'll become fucking energy.
Yeah, energy,
Right?
because that's what everything
I mean,
is
especially
anyway.
if we get to the point where we're uploading our personalities to our consciousness to the fucking
yeah, like
cloud,
what is
the
the
void,
cloud?
the internet,
Like
or
it's
whatever.
a space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's energy.
It's like a machine,
It's
some shit.
wires and waves.
Ones and zeros, bro.
Dude,
love-
ones and zeros, it's
love, death,
crazy.
and robots.
Ones
Fuck
and
that.
zeros.
Change it. Change it.
Episode 16, Alternate Histories, in which I forgot what was the name of the program.
Oh, I don't know it.
Yeah, I forgot. It was a cool name, but the idea being that like there's this almost like a library that will show you what happened if you happen to mess with time, right? And in this specific scenario, it shows what happens if Hitler would have died sooner.
So I like the concept. I just didn't like the episode.
Execution.
Same,
Yeah.
Yeah.
same. I
Yeah.
feel very, very strongly about that. Where they had a really cool, very strong idea.
And they made it dumb.
Yeah, they made it kind of dumb,
Yeah.
silly. In like, especially if like you're gonna think about showing different scenarios. Like I would have loved to have seen
Real
other
scenarios.
real ones play out. What would have happened if something
Like
didn't
real
happen?
life events.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just made it like.
And it just centered on just Hitler dying sooner and just him dying in silly ways
and
or
the
whatever.
moon landing was
Yeah.
what they alluded to would be the big change.
Yeah, the moon landing
Or what they
changed every
showed
time.
anyway. What they bothered showing us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this one definitely for me kind of I wasn't that crazy about. Definitely bottom of
This
the
is the weakest one for me out of the
Yeah,
the
and
entire
animation
list.
wise too, it was just like it was like a dumb ways to die. Like
Yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it felt
Whatever.
like.
Yeah,
I mean, they still managed to put
Sorry.
Wang in it and stuff. So
they
that
did.
was
They always managed.
in keeping with their stuff.
When in
But
doubt, just wing it.
Wang.
it was like a cool idea, but I just feel like they could have done better with the
Yeah, for
execution or
real.
whatever. And the last episode, guys, episode 17, The Secret War. This is the one where it's kind of follows along this Russian group in circa like World War II time, right? And they tell a story while they're out there, right? They're seeing this massacre of what they then allude to are monsters. And when they're camped, they tell the story about these guys' notes that they found, in which I guess they basically conjured the fucking monsters that started coming out of there, right? I don't know if it was like a satanic ritual, but they did show
That's what they
like
they
a
look
female body, just guts and organs hanging out and shit like that.
Mhm.
Just real fucking gruesome stuff, and alluding to like, yeah, we're the ones that's basically summoned them or whatever.
Yeah, it's like Hellboy, right?
Yeah,
Where it's
yeah,
like-
kind of like something like a Hellboy, right?
It's
Where you
like
like
the Germans
summon
were
these monsters and
into-
stuff.
The paranormal and summoning shit.
And yeah, I mean, continues to be fucked, right? Because they eventually unearth like a big hive of them, and I mean, they got to do something about it, right? I don't know if that was their main mission, because I remember the guy tells him like, I forget, I saw it recently, but I forgot if it was a guy kind of alluding like, hey, we don't really have to do this; it's not our mission, or
I
something
remember
like
this
that.
one confusing me.
Right?
Like this one was
Yeah.
the one I needed to have like explained to me.
Yeah,
Because
so
it was like they kept fighting, but the leaders were over here, like working together, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like from the opposing sides. So I didn't.
that's what I had trouble with. I was like,
Yeah.
well, they have orders and they have to stick to the mission, right? Because there's that one part where they're camped and they see like a fight going on,
Mhm.
right? They know they're fighting
Yeah.
those fucking monsters or whatever, and the guy just like, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Like
So-
we're not supposed to be over there. Which, I guess when they found the fucking hive, I was like, was that their mission? I don't know if that was clear or not. I forget. But
Yeah.
I think it was like a Civil War type thing where it's like
Yeah.
the generals stay back here and then
Yeah.
like, you fight, but we kind of fight sometimes, we kind of don't.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
So they give their lives up right after blowing up the fucking thing. They're coming after them. They only have time to really slow them down while the guy sends his son. This one that was really his kid. Honestly. Right. Sends his son,
Yeah.
go deliver the message. You all need to bomb this fucking area, right? And they proceed to fucking die, fight till their last breath or whatever.
Mm-hmm, real sad.
And it was fucking sad. You're like,
Yeah.
dude, like just they know they're gonna die and shit.
Yeah.
Like that sucked.
The one guy shot himself.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, too
The guy who had the
real.
fucked up like half face, like all
Yeah.
bloody eye or whatever, just shot himself. Like, that's
Better
Heidi
than
right
being
there.
eaten,
Yeah.
dude. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He did the right thing. And then, I mean, planes come in, they bomb the whole fucking thing, and you assume they probably got that Hive. I don't know if that ended it or not, but I mean, they don't tell you or whatever. I'll ask you all the same question I asked you in the last one, was if you were going to greenlight it for one movie and one TV show, what would you do?
The second half's weaker than first half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shapeshifters, Helping Hand, Fish Night,
Fish
Lucky
Night.
13.
Ooh, Lucky 13.
Lucky 13 movie.
Movie.
Zima Blue. Oh, I love Zima Blue. I'd probably maybe a series on Zima Blue.
How do you
maybe
make that a show?
Show of Blind Spot.
With the robots doing the heist.
Yeah, bunch of heists. You like the characters? That'd be fun.
Yeah, maybe if they expanded on them. That's the thing, is I think I needed to care
If
for
they
them
could
more.
do alternate histories well,
Oh,
I would
if
like
they
to
could
see
do that
as a
well.
TV show.
Series?
That would be cool.
Just like of different
Just
shit.
different,
different
yeah.
cool
Yeah,
fun
that'd be
shit.
a good one.
That would be good.
If
And
they
if
could do it
they
well.
got rid of the stupid silly, like, oh, we just
Yeah.
Dumb
Hitler
ways to
died
die.
by gelatin.
Yeah, that was
and-
dumb. Yeah, they really
Yeah.
like.
I'm like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see an actual alternate history.
No one
here.
could commit to the actual planning out of how things.
Yeah,
would
I think that's what it
change.
is too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think. I mean, whatever. Even if you
Even if you
struggle,
made it up, yeah,
whatever.
just
Yeah,
go-
like
go
just
as
I
far
want
as
to be entertained.
Yeah,
You
You know,
go with it, yeah.
I'm not this Hitler and gelatin shiz. Whatever.
Yeah, that was dumb.
It's dumb.
All right, cool.
But this series of shows wasn't.
no, you should definitely watch it.
Yeah, it
It's
was
really
good. It was
good.
good, man. I
It's
enjoyed
good.
this.
The only problem I have is recommending it to everyone. It's like a very specific group
If
I
you
can
like
recommend it to.
Black Mirror, like those types of anthology, just getting your, idea juices flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
get that,
I
but
agree
I
with
feel like
that.
Black Mirror is easier to recommend than this series is.
Oh, because
True.
of.
It's got a lot of
the
sci-fi.
Animation?
Yeah, well, not so much, but all the blood, the sex, and the
Oh, true.
all the everything.
All
in
the
it.
love, death, and robots.
all the love, death, and robots. It's hard to like.
It's very explicit.
what I
To
just
recommend
said.
to
recommend it
someone.
to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, to be like, oh, I like this show, but I can't tell you about
Yeah,
it.
like I enjoyed it.
I
But
can-
I'm not
I
gonna
can
be like,
recommend
Mom, you
it.
need to see this.
Yeah, I can only recommend it to a certain group of people.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
I
like
see.
everyone will have a couple of people that'll know, like, oh, I know so and so will like this, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna. I don't think it'll gain like a, popular notoriety. I
Yeah.
think because of the subject and the content or whatever.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
I like
It was
it. It was
good.
I
good.
recommend it.
I recommend it.
Me too.
3.5 out of 5. Let's give it that to everything.
Yeah, 4.5. I liked it.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4, Heidi. You, Rick?
I was trying to think of like, should I go B plus?
8.5.
Should I do?
Yeah, change it up every time. You
I
gotta
was,
be
I
that
was,
cool.
I was gonna try, but now I want to give a real.
you
answer.
gave it.
Out of-
You gave it a red last time,
out of 10.
You did give it
Out
right.
of if
and
you
you
were
were
doing
very
a
adamant
roll,
about reviews and
if you were
numbers.
doing a roll, what would you give it out of what is it, 20?
It's out of a 20.
Yeah.
Look, you
Just
give
one out
it
of
like
20.
real easy. Thumbs up, thumbs down, or side thumb.
Thumbs up, man.
I like
Thumbs
it.
up, right?
Good
Thumbs
show.
up.
Thumbs up,
Thumbs up.
man.
We're thumbs upping.
We're thumbs upping.
You hear
Yeah,
that? Thumbs up.
robots.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
You hear that shit?
Good stuff. Go watch it. It's pretty good. If you don't, get
Pretty good.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Don't already have it.
For real.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of the LoFi podcast. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Farewell.
hello.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for the
Bye,
job.
everybody. Goodbye.
Guys,
See you on
get my
Monday.
first check tomorrow.
Thank you.